Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Conference of Speed interviews. We are now on the end of week three, actually. It's changed up a little bit. I am not doing them after every race now. I'm going to be waiting till the end of the week once all the races are complete. And first on the list is our EU2 Monaco winner, Tom Robbo. How are you doing today, pal?
I'm good. I'm good.
Glad to
Y-
hear it. Glad to hear it.
Mhm.
So, first of all, Tom, welcome. This is the first interview that we've had. So yeah, nice to obviously meet you in terms of verbally. So let's talk a little bit about Monaco then. Obviously, if memory serves, you qualified first and you won the race. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So talk us through it. I mean, I remember watching it on stream actually. I've watched every race this week, so my memory's not exactly perfect of it. But tell us a little bit how it went for you. Let's start with qualifying. Was it in a moment you thought, I'm not going to get this, or was you pumped for all these? Talk a little bit about you qualifying.
Well, my banker was very strong, which is very good Monaco. It's easy to make a mistake and lose your wing or invalidate. So
Hmm.
to be quite far ahead of other people on the first lap was good. And then my second lap
Yeah.
was very good, I think, but it wasn't my strongest of laps. And Snipes wasn't
Right.
too far off on his second lap,
Hmm.
or he was using a different account name on Monaco. But yeah.
Yeah.
So on the final run, I invalidated straight away on the first corner, Santa Vault. So yeah, that whole in lap, I was panicking. Thought he was gonna beat me. He was
Yeah.
purple in the first sector, so he was on to beat my time. But I don't know what happened to the rest of his lap. But by the
Yeah.
time
But
I got back
I
around,
think
he
like
hadn't beat me.
yeah, I think like you say though, I think it's so difficult to maintain consistency, and it's I think it's one of the shortest tracks. Well, obviously I don't think we know it's one of the shortest tracks on the circuit, but it's one of the tracks so you have to maintain the most concentration. And I think you can have a purple sector one, purple sector two, and all it takes is that little slip up in sector three, and it's game over. Obviously, so obviously you mentioned that you put a really solid banker in. You know, did that give you? Did you think at that point, like looking at the other guys' times around you, that that was enough? Even if you invalidated before you went out on that final run, was you quietly confident that that was enough to get you through onto pole for the race?
Well, I did have some confidence because I knew the lap was strong, but I knew that Snipes' time trial times would do. He was doing like 7.7s or
Hmm.
around that time, so I knew he could beat it. But the fact that he
Yeah.
had to gain like 7/10 from his banker to beat it, I knew that that was going to be quite difficult under the pressure to
Hmm.
to pull out the bag. So
Yeah.
um,
100%. 100%. I couldn't agree more. I think. And how does it feel? I mean, obviously, EU2 coming up against the likes of Ricardo, or Ricky, as people call him, IFR Snipes, everyone still calls Rage Snipes, who we actually interviewed last week as well. How does it feel and again, we're going to touch upon other races as well, three races in there, but how does it feel to be kind of up there with these guys? And I mean, I know we watched you in EU1. We're not going to talk too much about that because it was more of a reserve race, but how does it feel to be up there with some of these guys who are extremely good at what they're doing? How does it feel to be at that level?
it feels good, yeah, because I definitely, if at the start of the season you told me that I was going to be up there, um, like battling them lot, than the likes of them, I wouldn't have believed you, and I
Hmm.
wouldn't believed in myself to be there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
And
think
do you
it's
have that little bit of belief now? Oh, sorry, mate. I was going to say, and now after them three races, do you have that bit of belief now that actually there is a bit of an expectation here that you could go on and win this championship?
yeah, definitely because Snipes, well, on pure pace, if you left them to go, they'd probably beat me. But Snipes is now like 12 points behind, and I think Milan's like 30 something points behind. Ricky's joint with me, but his strategy calls haven't been the greatest. In Monaco, obviously, it ruined his race. In Hungary, if I wouldn't have got the wing damage, I think I probably would have managed to beat him. But then in Belgium, when it was down to pure pace, he did have that on me. But if I can just keep the consistent finishes of getting like top amounts of points, which they haven't done every race so far, I should be able to challenge for it.
I think a lot of people would have to agree. I mean, as I say, a lot of people tune in. I mean, obviously, I'm in EU3. Nowhere near the pace of you guys. Nowhere near the pace of some of my own. But just watching you guys, and not just yourself, but many others as well, go around that track so like fluently without no problems at all. It's just for me is amazing. It's a joy to watch, and so far you've been a joy to watch as well for the first kind of 3 races, and hopefully that continues. Obviously, soft medium strat. How did that go for you? Was there any concerns that the mediums were going to fall off to a point where you were going to come under pressure at any point? I know obviously it's hard to call when you first come in, but when you went to them mediums, just looking, I mean, EU3, you couldn't really take much off because it was like full wet. Did you think at any point that actually I should have gone soft hards, or did you know in your mind that soft mediums would be enough to get you through to the end and not have pressure on the back of you?
Well, I think that first safety car really helped the soft tyres go further because usually you'd go for an undercut round like lap 8, lap 9, but Ricky went for the undercut on lap 10, which meant lap 11 or 12, which is when I was going to pit for mediums, was perfect to cover off that undercut and go on to the stronger tyre. And I don't think anyone else went for the hards anyway, so no one would have been stronger than me.
Very true. Very true, actually. Very valid point. No, that's again absolutely solid. Really was. So first in Monaco, qualified P1, finished the race P1. Spa and Hungary. I believe memory serves you finished P3 in both of them. Is that correct?
Yes, that is.
Obviously, I know you said over the course of the 3 races, you didn't expect to be where you are now, but you are. Obviously, next week, Abu Dhabi. What can we expect from you at Abu Dhabi? Now that you know where you are, now you know that you're joint top of the standings at the moment with Ricky, what can we expect from you? And not just in Abu Dhabi, but what can we expect from you now for the rest of the season?
So for the rest of the season, I'm hoping obviously to keep it consistent. But on Wednesday, I sent my wheel back because I had a bad issue with the pedal, and
Right.
and now I don't think I'll be able to get a replacement for a while. So my pad piece is pretty good, but the consistency's not there. So Abu Dhabi's a hard track to keep within the track limits. So I'll just have to put a load of time into getting that smoothness back. And that
100%.
I've used the wheel since Christmas.
Right.
And, so yeah, quite rusty, but hopefully I can still perform to a decent level, stay in like top 5 maybe, and then get the wheel back and challenge for wins. And
fair enough. And I think it is definitely a hard switch over both ways. I mean, I have had and attempted now the wheel 3 times, I think it is altogether, and each time after a few weeks, I just can't find the time to practice. I know how hard the changeover is to switch back from the wheel for such a long time to pad. Don't know. I imagine it ain't easy. So I think we've all got our fingers crossed for you to get that nailed in for Abu Dhabi on Wednesday night. We'd like to see you obviously crack on. What we want as viewers, and maybe not Ricky, and not some of the we want to see a real close championship, and we're getting it so far. So we want to see you putting that pressure on, and even if you maybe call it damage sensation from Abu Dhabi we've changed the pad, then we want to still see a good solid finish because we know looking at it you're capable. So obviously standings after 3 races don't draw a perfect picture of where people are going to be at the end of the season for many reasons. It gives an idea, but not anything nothing solid. So at the moment, as you see, you've got Ricky joint points, you've got Snipes a few points behind Milan, or even about 25 to 30 points behind, as you mentioned. I haven't got the exact figures in front of me. Obviously, a lot can change. We're only 3 races in. Obviously, you said before that your expectations was not to be where you are now. At the season, what were your ambitions? What was you expecting to the last race of the season here? Where were you expecting to be? What was you expecting to have accomplished before lights out at Spa?
Well, I was expecting to be a challenging towards the top 3, maybe getting on the podium a few times, but I think the Bahrain race showed me some false information about where I was going to be in pre-season. So
Yeah.
But then after pole in Belgium and having a race pace, though, I think my expectations have risen.
Yeah, 100%. Like you can see that evidently on track. As I say, you are definitely a title contender now, and as I say, I for one, and probably many others, are so looking forward to EU2. I think every tier at the moment is just fire. We've had EU4, multiple race winners. We had a bit of a bizarre race last night in EU4. That's opened up the championship somewhat rotten. The EU3, I'm not going to put myself in. There was a few drivers that anyone could win. That EU2, top 2 joint points. Snipes only 12 points behind, and a few of us close behind as well. And the EU1 also very close. So it's going to be exciting. So, do you think next season? And I know it's a big question, this one, but do you think next season you'll be in EU1?
It's a tough one to call because there is drivers like Milan, Matrix, Yorno who've all had unlucky 3 races. So maybe in, however, is it like 9 more rounds?
You've caught me off guard. I'll find out for you if you wish to carry on.
Well, anyway, however long it is, it's still a lot longer than 3 races, so there's still a lot to fight for, and it's still going to be tough. And I know Ricky last season in EU3, watching most of that, didn't get like any bad finishes or any severe crashes or DNFs. So I'm going to have to at least get a few wins if I want to beat him, because I know I'm not one for keeping it clean every race. Like,
No, look, I think we all love a little bit of a rough ride at times. That's what Formula One's all about. It's never going to be a clean sweep. Well, actually brings me on to the next point, actually, which we're going to kind of talk about Ricky actually as the nearest standings rival at the moment. But before we actually get on to that, who for you, obviously at the start of the season, did you have any rivals? Now, whether it be, this is my favourite topic. I love this bit because it's just dishing the dirt. But at the start of the season, did you have kind of any rivals, whether it be via banter, whether it be friends, and friendly banter, friendly rival, or actual rivals because someone actually, annoyed you in let's say last season? Did you get any rivals at the start of the season? Are they the same now after 3 races?
well, I mean, as a friendly rival, the only 2 people that I've ever spoke to before the season, well, 3, was like Stumpy, Ricky, and Timmy. So the fact that Ricky's joined on points with me is exciting, and we might have some banter if it gets really close towards the end of the season.
Mhm.
But right now, both focusing on staying clear of the ones who are less consistent.
Okay. So can I say then, so I can call out Ricky? Can I say that Ricky is your main rival this year now? Can I say that with confidence?
Yeah.
There you go, Ricky. If you're listening to this, I'm going to try and get you on soon. I said I would. I'm going to try and get you on soon as well, pal. But there you go. It's official. We've got a new rivalry in EU2. Probably everyone knew, to be fair, anyway, just look at standing. But there it is. So no, obviously, I think yeah, it's going to be an amazing season. I'm sure Ricky will be chomping at the bit to get a reaction back, 100%. But again, just to kind of summarize, amazing race at Monaco, and two solid races considering wing damage in Hungary. No two stars far. 55 points. Joe Rickett, EU2 is looking like it's going to be fire. As you've already said, a few drivers behind you could, been a bit unlucky, so that could easily turn around in the next couple of races. So for that. So I think, guys, that's everything for tonight. Absolutely every angle of the first three races. Hopefully we'll speak to Tom soon. Obviously, I've got to try and get for every single driver, as many as I can anyway. So it might not be this season, but if we do, I'm sure we'll have a chat with as many as we can. Before we do go, Tom, do you have anything to say to anybody or any comments you'd like to make for the interview before we call it a night?
No, I think that's it.
Fantastic. So, as I said, first of all, thank you very much, Tom, for joining us tonight and taking the time to have an interview. It's been a pleasure actually speaking to you. As I say, it's all about him educating yourselves with other people. So again, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing these battles in EU2 continue. So yeah, take care, everybody, and stay safe. Okay.